What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Biggie298 coming at you live as I get through the power of the internet. And today, the folks over there at Star Wars Battlefront 2, the folks over there at EA, did announce that they would be adding microtransactions back to their game sometime soon. And today, I wanted to talk a little bit about that, and hopefully the folks over at EA will see this video, but I want to talk to the consumers as well. Before I get started, though, I do want to say this video is sponsored by the folks over at Audible, but I'm going to save the advertisement for the end of the video. But during the meantime, if you want to click on that link in the description box below, or you want to grab your cell phone and text BOOGIE to the number 500-500, they're going to offer you 30 free days. They're going to offer you a free book, and I'll recommend a book towards the end of the video. Now, if you guys don't remember, Battlefront 2 launched with loot crates and microtransactions with a very grindy design in mind to try to really make people grind it out. And then hopefully buy loot boxes to bypass that grind. But because of the backlash, they decided to temporarily turn off microtransactions, and they said that it was only temporary, mind you. Some people seem to forget that. But they said that they were going to temporarily turn off microtransactions and eventually turn them back on once they found a form that they would like and that people would like. And so with this announcement this week, they've announced that they are definitely going to be turning them back on in the next couple of months. Now, that might seem crazy to you. That's like Chipotle putting the bacteria back in their foods to try to increase sales because too many people got scared away from the bacteria. It's like them putting poison back in the Kool-Aid because people stopped drinking the poison Kool-Aid. It doesn't make a lot of sense at the end of the day, but EA does have an explanation. They said that it looks like Star Wars Battlefront 2 only sold about 7 million copies. Some people are reporting 9 million, so let's split the difference and call it 8 million. They said with only 8 million copies, that's half as much as Battlefront 1 sold, which is not that uncommon for a sequel, I think. Sequels can definitely have less sales than the original. But that said, they said that's just not enough to reap their money back from making the game, and they need more money to make the money back. Now, look, I got nothing but love and respect for the people who are on the ground level over at DICE making Star Wars Battlefront 2. It's clear when you play that game, they put a lot of love into that game. They're Star Wars fans, they're shooter fans, they're video game fans. They did a very good job. So if you're decided to be mad at anybody, don't be mad at the developers at DICE. They did their best to make a very, very good game, and with the exception of the monetization and the grind and stuff like that, it is relatively a very fun game. Now, here's the thing. If you can sell 7 or 8 or 9 million copies of a video game and at $60 a pop and not get your money back, then you're doing something wrong. Something is vastly wrong with the way you create video games. 10 million copies, 9 million copies, 8 million copies. These are some of the best-selling video games of all time. You know, if you go to Wikipedia and look at the top 50 list, number 49 is Battlefield 3, which is also published by EA, and that only sold 15 million. And yes, this is half as many, but still, if you can sell 7.58 million copies of a game and not be profitable, you don't need to be in the video game business anymore. And it's not that they're not profitable. Let's just be honest. This video game might have been profitable even though they had to pay that franchising fee for Star Wars. It's probably just not profitable enough. What a lot of people don't realize is that EA is a publicly held company, so they have stockholders that they need to please, and they have a board comprised of people who own that stock, right? And so those people are expecting dividends. They don't want you to just make your money back from a video game and establish a new franchise. They don't want you to just double your money. They want it to quadruple. They want 10 times the money. They want as much money as humanly possible because they want to reap back their investment with dividends, and they want that stock value to go up as well. And that's why for the last few years, some of the best video games that were ever made were made by small independent companies who spent very little but made that money really, really count and weren't worried that big about profits. They were worried about establishing themselves in the industry. And you have some incredible smaller games. And then when it comes to these bigger games that EA, these AAA games, EA doesn't just want to earn its money back. They want 10 times the money, 20 times the money, especially with something like Star Wars. They promised the stockholders, we have the exclusive license to Star Wars games. We're going to milk it for everything it's worth. It's going to be as valuable as the movies are, as valuable as the merchandising are. It's just not an obtainable goal. I don't think it is. I think this is a huge mistake by EA, but regardless, that's the point. They want to make a buttload of money from this game. Not just a little, not just their money back. They want a ton. Now, EA has said that that's not their only goal here. The goal is to keep people employed and keep people playing Star Wars Battlefront 2. They want them to be playing that game for a few years. They look at something like Rockstar's GTA 5, where the servers have been online for half a decade, and people are spending billions of dollars on shark cards because they enjoy playing the game, and they want Battlefront 2 to be that. And in the process, they're going to keep plenty of people who work on that game creating new art assets, adding new characters, adding new maps, adding new weapons, adding new modes, adding new stuff to keep the game fun and interesting, to keep people playing, and not charging everybody, letting most people play that game relatively close to free after they bought in, but let the whales pay for it, right? Let the people who really want to spend a lot of money pay for that so everybody else gets to play. And that's not exactly a noble goal, but I mean, it's reasonable. That's reasonable. So I think by the end of this video, I want to help EA figure out how to do that. But now, someone representing EA this week did say, we believe in microtransactions, that they are good for the industry and good for games when done right. And you know what? I'm willing to play ball and try to figure out a way to do that for Battlefront 2 here, because clearly they're going to do it one way or the other. So let's talk about what they need to do right. Now, at the end of the day, I would just rather they sold me the full game at a full price and I just got all the content. If you feel that way, obviously you should. But there are a few cases of games with microtransactions where I'm willing to actually pull out the credit card very, very rarely. So let's talk about what we need to do to get Battlefront 2 in that position. So the very first thing I think you need to do is make Battlefront 2 become a free-to-play game. I know a lot of people have already spent $60 on it, so you can compensate existing accounts by giving them $60 worth of in-game currency to spend how they please. And then moving forward, you can double and quadruple and multiply your user base by a tremendous amount by just giving away the game. Let people download it on PlayStation, let it download them on Xbox, let them download it on Origin, and play the game for free. And that way, I know that's very expensive when it comes to servers and stuff, but that's the business model you guys clearly want. So do that. And if that's something you don't feel you can do, at least discount it. You know, the PC version of Overwatch is $40. I think occasionally they do sales for $20, and they do free play weekends all the time. At the very least, you got to do that. Secondly, they say they're recreating the progression system. And I think the most important thing here with the progression system is to make sure that there is no pay to win, that you can't buy a bunch of currency to unlock a bunch of boxes that allow you to be better at the game. No extra gun damage, no extra character weapons and damage, no extra healing, nothing along that lines. That stuff has to be removed entirely from the game. The existing version of the game just basically can't work the way it is now. You need to get that out of the game, or at least make sure the currency can never pay for it. When it comes to stuff that the currency can pay for, my recommendation is cosmetics. And I'm talking about emotes and stances and stuff like that. That stuff is all fine. But I'm also talking about stuff like player skins, or maybe even new characters that you can unlock, say Greedo or characters along that lines. I think that would be interesting. But, you know, again, at the end of the day, it needs to be purely cosmetic. And I would avoid the loot crate system altogether. I would look for a Han Solo skin, a Slave Leia skin, a Jedi Master Luke skin, stuff like that. And look at the League of Legends model. People are willing to pay $1.99, $2.99, $7.99 to unlock a skin over there. I think that's a good way to go. And if you do what like Heroes of the Storm does with the character and skin bundles, I think that's another good way to do it. But I would not dare, if I were you, go back to the loot crate system, even if it's only cosmetic. Nobody likes that system. It's not good for consumers. It's only good for your bottom line. At the end of the day, it's just a bad way to do it. And to be very clear there, all of those characters and all of the skins and all of those items also need to be unlockable via currency. Now, that's not the case for League of Legends. There are some exclusive skins that can only be bought with cash. I guess you could support a handful of those, but I would make sure that they could be ground out for most players. I think the good rule of thumb when it comes to choosing what to do with a microtransaction is keep only optional things behind paywalls, right? Especially if it's going to be pure money. Should it be a game mode behind a paywall? Never. Should it be a map behind a paywall? Never. Even free players need access to all the modes and all the maps. As long as there's an alternative free character that's just as good as the paywalled character, then I think there's no problem with that. And then I think when it comes to stuff like cosmetics, that's always okay behind a paywall. But if a player is ever going to feel like they need that item to compete, they ever feel need to purchase it, then you're doing it wrong. It should be optional. They should be having enough fun to where they're like, you know what? It would be cool to have that pink Darth Vader skin. I will go ahead and do that so I stand out and I look cool because I really enjoy this game. But at the end of the day, if they don't listen to these rules and actually do way better than I'm suggesting, then I think they're just going to continue to be the whipping boy for the rest of their lives. This game, and I don't want that for the people who made this game. I don't want that for the developers and the artists and the people who created this game and put so much love into it. But at the end of the day, if everything's not free to play with currency given to the people who've actually spent money on the game, and then everything's optional and it's cosmetic and it doesn't affect the gameplay, if it's none of those things, and you keep loot boxes in any form, I think it's just going to continue to be an outrage culture whipping boy. You're just going to continue to torture this game to near death because of the mistakes you've made, and that's not fair to the people who made that game. What instead, we just make it a really fun game that people will really enjoy playing, and maybe the stockholders won't make a fortune, but they'll get most of their money back, if not more, And that's pretty good because I would just like to make a game. When's the last time that's happened? EA made a game that people liked to play. They were happy to play. They enjoyed playing. They looked forward to playing it and wanted to support it out of love. That's the right business model. Figure that one out, do that one. It's got to be tempting to create one of those games where people just love it so much they want to support it, right? That's why Overwatch is doing so well, because of all the goodwill that comes out of Blizzard every day with the free game modes and the updates, developer updates, and all that awesome stuff, right? I pull out the credit cards to buy their skins just because I love the company. And also over there at GTA, they give you so much free stuff and so many free game modes and so many updates, and the community is so cool. I've never pulled out a credit card for GTA 5, but plenty of people do. Wouldn't it be nice if Battlefield 2 became that game? Wouldn't that be nice? You guys can do it. You just got to put the effort into it, and you just got to listen. Now, with that said, for those of you who did text BOOGIE to 500-500 or clicked the audible.com/BOOGIE link, let's talk about a book that you could download for free today. It's January, and that means we're all going through a little bit of self-help, dieting and exercise and things along that line. So I wanted to recommend The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. This book is really tongue-in-cheek, and I really, really like it. The entire concept of the book is it's kind of like the reverse of a self-help book while still self-helping yourself. And it's just about like letting go and forgetting about all the relentless positivity that so many of us try to focus on. We always have to be happy. We always have to be moving. We always have to be working forward. We always have to be making money. We always have to focus on our career. Well, Mark says that's not the case. And I really like that idea behind a book. Sometimes it's okay to just be sad. Sometimes it's just okay to worry about what's worrying you. Sometimes it's okay to just not focus on that relentless positivity that we all expect in our lives, but no one ever achieves. Now, this book is also a #1 bestseller. It sold over 1 million copies. But that said, I chose to listen to it on Audible because Audible makes it just super easy to listen to books. I listen to it through my Amazon Alexa when I'm laying in bed. I listen to it when I'm in the bathtub via my iPad. I listen to it on the go via my phone. Audible really does just stream to any device, and it makes it super easy. And the reason I choose Audible to listen to my books is very simple because you can multitask. You can do multiple things at once, listening to your book while also driving down the road, while also riding as a passenger in a car, while playing video games, while doing other stuff. Instead of having to just stare at the book, you can do multiple things. Now, maybe that's one of the things I need a little bit of self-help with, is that I'm so busy these days, I'm always multitasking. But it's the only way I can fit in the book, and it allows me to fit in the books, and it allows me to get a little bit of me time, which I'm sorely lacking. Something hopefully this book can help me with and help you with too. So do me a favor and do yourself a favor at the same time. Go to audible.com/BOOGIE or grab your cell phone and text to 500-500 BOOGIE. You'll get that 30-day free membership. You'll get a free book, and membership has its privileges, including a free book every month. I've been using it. I think you'll love to use it too. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think about the whole Star Wars debacle. Are you angry still? Does this just seem like EA as a general rule? Do you think microtransactions should ever come back? If so, do you like the suggestions I've given them here? I hope so. I hope they get it right. I really do. There's a lot of good people that worked on that game, and I've met several of those good people. And I'll tell you something, they deserve their game to be good and well-received. I just hope EA lets them get it right. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon.